Yo, what's up everyone? GangstaLuigi613 here, and welcome back to another episode of GL6 Reacts. Today we're going to be reacting to the Season 10 premiere of Death Battle between Ant-Man and the Atom. I don't really know much about the Atom, because I don't know a lot about DC characters in all honesty. I do know about Ant-Man, thanks to the MCU and whatnot. But I'm interested to learn about the Atom. I did watch both previews for this Death Battle, as I typically do. And I wonder if they're going to continue using Hank Pym for this battle, or if it is going to be Scott Lang. It's probably going to be Hank Pym, since he's the more iconic comic book version of Ant-Man, really. Whereas Scott's more the MCU stuff. And all I really know about the Atom is the things he can kind of do in Injustice 2 as a DLC character, and that one episode of Batman the Brave and the Bold, where him and Aquaman go inside Batman's bloodstream and fight off microbots or something from Black Manta, I want to say? I think? I don't... It's been a while since I watched that episode. So I don't really know who will win here. My money's on Ant-Man, because I know Ant-Man can go quantum. I don't know how small the Atom can get. I assume he can get to the size of an atom. But, like, going in between atoms is smaller, so it's, like, more of an advantage. So I don't know. This sounds like a very confusing battle, regardless. So, with all that said, if you like my content and you'd like to see more, please consider hitting the subscribe button. So that way you can keep up to date. So it's been a minute since I've recorded a video like this, so I'm trying to remember how my intro goes and whatnot. Plus I'm trying to be quiet about things. Headache. So if you like this content and you'd like to see more, subscribe. There's more stuff I know, but Oh, if you're feeling generous, donate to my Ko-fi account. That's the other thing. There's a third thing, but I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. Like I said, headache makes it hard to think. But with all that said, it's time to react to the Death Battle. So 3, 2, 1, play.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Yes, BetterHelp.
Mint Mobile.
BetterHelp and Mint Mobile, of course. Boom, do.
Ant-Man, Marvel's founding member of the Avengers.
Oh, I didn't realize he was a founding member.
DC's legendary
Is Ant-Man part of the Illuminati? I don't remember.
Packages. The bigger they are, the harder they
Of course I have to show the Ant Bully.
We're just trying to get these out of the way.
Here's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out
who would win a death battle. I did see the preview in the Season 10 trailer. It looks like this is going to be a really good battle.
Did you know that ants can lift 50 times their own body weight?
I always thought it was just
If you
10
lifted a car
times.
straight over your head.
Like, I thought it was 10 times as strong as their body weight.
Also, Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada yesterday.
Well, I bet your calendar didn't tell you that Dr. Henry Pym, aka Hank, was considered a genius at a very early age. By 3 years old, doctors declared that
Oh no, he
was
turned
smarter
himself
than
blue.
both his parents combined.
He eventually majored in biochemistry
Well,
and became one of
Scientist
the most
Supreme, that's
successful
funny.
scientists in his field. He
Oh,
had big
so wait,
ideas about
he's
shrinking
smarter than
the
both his
size of
parents as a
cargo
baby,
to
but
reduce
like,
shipping costs.
does that mean anything? What if the parents are stupid?
All of which
Are
made
they?
him a
I don't know.
laughing stock in the
Ow.
scientific community and sparked a long-lasting insecurity and need to prove himself.
Yeah, he's a bit crazy, from what I know in the comics.
Stock to Christmas stocking, the much better stock, right behind Bean and Live.
So, naturally, he tested the serum on himself, like any self-respecting scientist.
Yeah, I mean, I've made this weird
Tracked down
concoction,
the
let me
size
just,
of an
you know, just pour it on me.
Started going south. A sweet little ant, let's call her Aunt Hathaway, swooped in and led
Aunt
Hank
Hathaway,
back to his
really?
lab where he could return to full size.
Hank then harnessed the serum and became
It'd be
the
crazy to
superhero
shrink down,
Ant-Man.
see a giant ant,
Along with his new
or a
identity,
normal-sized
he had a
ant, I
fascination with
guess.
entomology,
But
which
then it
makes
just helps
total
you.
sense. Ants are fascinating.
Did you know that ants can talk to each other in a bunch of different ways? Through touch, sound,
I
or
did
even
know
sharing
this. I watched the
information
preview,
like
but I also kind of
barking
knew
at
it
each
beforehand.
Ants
And I
actually
also
call
know
prophylaxis.
that I
They're
hate
not
ants.
barfing,
I hate a lot of
per se.
insects
It's
and
more like
bugs.
passing
No thank you.
food mouth to mouth.
other. Gross! Hank figured out how to
So like Kirby
communicate
does?
with his new pets, not by barfing, but by creating a
Oh, that's
cybernetic
horrifying.
that mirrors an ant's
Oh yeah.
antenna.
Also, he has an army of
Developed
ants.
relationships with some ants, like Ulysses' ant here.
But he didn't stop
Adam
there.
can't,
He
like,
developed a lot of
mobilize
amazing
atoms,
tech like
can
a
he?
stinger pistol
I don't know.
that focuses his bioenergy into a stun beam and image-inducing
Ow.
camouflage to mask himself as an ant. It worked so well it fooled Reed Richards, the smartest guy on the planet.
That's
He also knows the
interesting.
stuff that runs on that nifty serum he made back in his lab. It lets him shrink thanks to the newly discovered PIM particles, named after himself.
If
Classic
if
Hank.
he made them, are they
Particle is the
discovered?
key to
Well, I
unlocking the
guess.
fundamental constants of
I
the
don't know.
quantum mechanics at play here. They enable you to decrease the distance between atoms. However,
See,
in
between
order to do
atoms.
that, he'd have to change the Bohr radius, the ratio of electron mass to the distance the electrons orbit an atom's nucleus.
Hey, I kind of remembered that.
Of course.
From
Like
high
how
school.
When you make a bagel pizza, you can't fit the whole pizza on the bagel. Believe me, I've tried. It's too small. You just gotta put less on.
Sure, Boomstick. So the PIM particles are actually
Boomstick,
displacing
you-
mass to
your
an alternate
commentary is always
dimension
great.
in order to maintain
Most of
that
the time.
ratio.
Oh, it's like having a second bagel to put the rest of your pizza on. I get it.
Oh man,
But
he
if
keeps
that
saying
were
pizza,
true,
and I'm
he
really
shouldn't be able to
hungry.
punch with full-size strength if he has less mass.
And he's definitely lighter, because otherwise he'd crush the sweet antsy rides like Vincent Van Gogh here.
His mass is being replaced.
There's a lot
with
of
mass
ant pun
neutrinos,
names.
but that doesn't adequately explain how he can have less mass and seemingly more mass at the same time.
Sure it does, Wiz. Trust Pim and his particles. Look at
Science
the guy. He's
Boomstick.
explaining the whole thing while wearing a lab coat. What's more trustworthy than that?
Oh man.
You're the exception.
You think you understand this?
Oh, of course. He's small but strong. You said something about a boar, so I guess you wanted ham on that pizza, but I already made the pizza.
Will you take that coat off?
No.
I
Regardless,
really
there is
want
virtually no
food.
limit to Hank's ability to shrink. He can go beyond subatomic down to the underspace, a plane of
The
existence below
underspace?
all realities in the Marvel universe.
And Hank has literally
That's a new
changed
one.
his biology. He's rewritten his own chemical makeup to prevent anyone else from changing his size. And he's used
Oh, that's
PIM
interesting.
particles so much, he's now got an energy field around him that lets him change the size of people or objects on the fly, through touch or by straight up firing PIM particles in the air.
Oh, that's
He's
just
never shy
stupid.
about using them either. He eventually
that's-
supplied his wife, Janet Van Dyne.
That's so
with him
stupid
to
and
become
overpowered.
Wasp, his partner in crime fighting.
The two ended up rubbing shoulders with A-listers like Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk to take down Loki. Ant-Man and the Wasp were actually the ones that captured him and pitched the idea of forming the Avengers.
That's
Unfortunately,
crazy.
Hank's insecurities started to creep back in, and he felt that if he wanted to keep up with the big heroes, he was going to have to think bigger.
Enter a bunch of those PIM-powered alter egos like Yellow Jacket and Giant Man, where he can grow anywhere from 12 feet tall to so big he can enter the overspace, the polar opposite
The
of
overspace
There
too?
he met Eternity, who called him
Oh.
Earth's Scientist Supreme.
Eternity gave him
Something
that
he
title.
won't
Interesting.
forget.
Hank pushed himself to these insane heights, even though he knew the strain on his body could be fatal.
But he simply didn't care.
Interesting.
And kept pushing himself. Thus, his greatest and worst creation was born: Ultron.
Yep, all the
Oh,
Tin Man
yeah.
Tron was created by Hank, not
I
Tony
forgot
like the
he
movie.
made Ultron in the
But that
comics.
murder butt thing turned out pretty much the same. Big swing and a miss there.
The fallout from Ultron left Hank in a bad place, to say the least. His guilt made him feel like an utter failure, and that his best work was behind him.
Remember, kids,
This led
all
Hank
comic
to
book
do
characters are
unspeakable
depressing.
things.
A real
Ooh.
low-life move. And even though poor mental health doesn't excuse this behavior, it was clear that Hank needed help. He suffered multiple mental breakdowns, endured the physical toll of the PIM particles, and had bipolar disorder that went undiagnosed for years.
So Hank
Yikes.
finally did the best thing he could. He acknowledged his problems, got the help he needed, and committed to self-improvement.
And with that help, Hank slowly started making things right. He rebuilt the West Coast Avengers, gave Scott Lang his blessing to become the second Ant-Man, and
That's
finally
good.
defeated Ultron.
He created a backdoor Trojan infiltration code to defeat Ultron that was so advanced, it went on to replicate and evolve all on its own to create a new species made up of artificial intelligence.
They don't
Huh.
call him the god of modern AI for nothing. Hank has showed over and over again that he's an integral part of the Marvel Universe.
Not just by ways of his scientific contributions or victories in battle.
I didn't realize
but by
Giant
proving that
Man was
heroes come in
an
all
alternate
shapes and
personality of his. I just thought that was what they called him when he got big.
This episode is
That's
sponsored
interesting.
by BetterHelp.
Yeah, BetterHelp.
Easy to spend all your time
My-
on your work, your friends, your
The one thing I hate about Death
family. How
Battle
much time do you
videos
actually
sometimes
spend
is
on
the fact
yourself?
that I feel like I don't talk enough, mainly because I'm just so invested and interested in learning about these characters. Because, like, I knew Scott Lang Ant-Man, but I didn't really know much about Hank Pym Ant-Man. So it's really interesting to just learn. Like in Sauron vs. Lich King, I was just too invested to really say much in either analysis. Analyses. And I'm probably going to be quiet in this analysis, too, for the Atom, because I don't know much about him. I know less about him than I did Hank Pym. Hey, that rhymed.
Is fill out a brief questionnaire to be matched with the licensed
You think this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp because it deals with Hank Pym? Or is that a dark joke? Is that a bad joke to make? I'm also remembering that I just skipped through these advertisements. I should do that next time.
Ray Palmer was born your average human-sized person. He grew up in the Northeast.
Your average human originated the myth of Aladdin's lamp? What?
Palmer told him to do. Probably.
Everything was pretty typical.
I hope they give the backstory on that because I'm confused. Oh, that walking animation didn't look good. It didn't look good in the preview, didn't look good now.
He ran off to the crash and found himself a life-changing piece of a white dwarf star, and immediately started messing around with it. Who wouldn't?
White dwarf star. Isn't that like... Is that the heaviest material in the universe?
Just one problem. When he shrunk things, they exploded. Every time.
I do not see the problem. Sounds like you found a foolproof way of blowing stuff up. Case closed.
Ray was determined.
I mean, if you shrink things down and it explodes, is that a good, like, explosive device? Because it'd be smaller.
I have to question his priorities.
I don't know.
Hey, it seems to work for him. I support it.
Man, look at all these old
Thanks for
comic
different
arts.
mics, am I right?
While in a cave, the ceiling suddenly collapsed, trapping everyone inside. After searching high and low for another exit, Ray found a small opening and had an idea. He could try to shrink himself down and get help, even if it meant he might explode before he got the chance.
Why not shrink the rocks?
Explode. I hope this story has a happy ending at least.
Why didn't he just shrink the rocks that were blocking the cave
Something
entrance?
special about him that made him uniquely immune to the explosive fate. Something super scientifically convenient that we never get any more information on.
So he got to
I'm gonna have to go back and read that little dialogue box in the top.
The power of the white dwarf star and became the
He looks so angry in that panel.
Adam uses the white dwarf fragment to decrease his size while having control over his density, which makes a lot of sense considering that white dwarfs have the mass of a star, like the sun, but their volume is more like the Earth's, making them among the densest objects in space.
Right, they're
Just a
dense.
teaspoon of the stuff could weigh up to 100 tons.
Yeah, so they're
That's
heavy.
one strong spoon.
When Adam shrinks and shifts his weight, he's actually sending his extra mass to a dimension called the mass zone.
Where Adam could maybe live forever. At one point,
Interesting.
Ray's apprentice Ryan Choi was murdered by Deathstroke, but willed some of his mass to the mass zone and was able to survive in that dimension. So these guys can potentially cheat death, but would be stuck there without any outside help.
But from
Interesting.
one scientist to another, what's most impressive is
That's a new
Ray's
one.
creation of the Bio Belt. That's what allows Adam to use the power of the White Dwarf and shrink while maintaining any weight, from immaterial to his full 180 pounds. There's even been times where it's stated that he was able to become almost as dense as a White Dwarf star itself for a few seconds.
The belt is also how he
Interesting.
can travel through phone lines or through the air, on currents or light beams. Over time, Ray has spread out the White Dwarf power to other parts of his suit, and now the Bio Belt acts as a utility belt for his shrunken weapons and tech.
That's
It also
cool.
prevents his size or mass from being altered by any outside forces.
And while
Okay,
he only increases
so
size
they
by
both have
going
that
down to
ability,
6 feet
gotcha.
in height, his ability to shrink is near limitless. He can travel between subatomic space to the microverse, the foundation
The
of all
microverse.
reality
Alright,
in the
then.
DC universe,
So,
where
apparently,
atoms become the size of
Microverse and
planets.
underspace,
He can increase
which
back
is
to his normal
smaller.
size with such force he can smash through diamonds. So if Adam increases his size too much while still within the microverse, he could blow up the entire fabric of reality from the inside out.
Oh,
Shrinking
fun.
down to that size means that he can shrink small enough to rearrange atoms themselves.
Yep, Ray can take individual molecules and rapidly expand them to cook up a small nuclear blast in the palm of his hand.
Sure.
Whoa, Ray Palmer. I just got that.
He also
Ah.
once disarmed a bomb by rearranging its atoms. At that size, he can move at the velocity of light. So fast and so randomly, he basically acted as a barrier between any and all possible atom combinations. But come on, there's no scientific
That's
explanation
stupid.
for him to have superhuman senses or awareness to comprehend being everywhere at the same time.
Ah, it makes total sense. If you're small enough, you can fit in almost everything, everywhere, all at once. Like how you can fit an entire pizza into a calzone, and then you have a whole pizza everywhere inside the calzone. Man, I get it. Science is pizza.
No! Science is all I have! Why are you doing this to me?
Poor
I'm telling all
Wiz.
of Ray's amazing inventions and abilities. He's also got some
Poor
more
me, I'm
classic
so
weapons
hungry.
Like a laser blaster and a freaking sword he used to fight a giant crocodile.
Because
But
why
to his
didn't he?
size,
That was when Ray was believed to be dead, but was actually just stuck at 6 inches tall and stranded in the Amazon rainforest, where he encountered an alien race known as the Catarthans.
And get
Sure.
this, he ended up leading a rebellion against their tyrant king and became the ruler of all the Kardashians.
And his heroism didn't stop there. The Atom was a very well-respected hero, and was even asked to join the Justice League of America shortly after it was formed.
He fought alongside Batman and his best bud, Hawkman. And you don't fight with those guys without picking up a thing or two.
Impressive combat skills aside, Atom's greatest contribution to the legendary team was always his incredible mind.
He once created kryptonite inside of Superman by realizing
Oh.
that if he gathered up enough Kryptonian protons, they would eventually become radioactive.
While stranded in
Oh, that's
limbo,
cool,
Adam realized
actually.
that if the Flash sped up the rate of a nuclear reaction's stellar evolution to exhaust its core, they could turn a fire demon into a black hole and use it as a wormhole to get back to Earth.
He's a brilliant.
I guess that
hardworking,
works.
and
Comic book
determined
science
scientist
sure
that
is
never
funny.
stops working on a problem until he's found a solution. I mean, if I figured out how to blow stuff up as well as he did, I would have stopped right there. I'm the hero that blows stuff up. Wouldn't even need to change my name.
Ray Palmer lived the dream, going from research scientist to
Until
legendary
tragedy hit.
superhero. He picked up the pieces presented to him and built something greater than the sum of its parts.
Who knew this tiny titan with massive brains would have just as much brawn to back it up?
Where that came from? Oh, that was quick. Okay, I guess we're
This episode of Death
I
Battle is sponsored by
guess
Mint
we're at almost at the battle. That's interesting. So I don't know.
It's the first company to sell a
They
premium
gave
wireless
the
service
Atom
online
more
only.
stuff, I feel. They gave him speed, they gave him power. They just said Ant-Man can do this.
When everything is just getting more and more expensive.
So,
It isn't sorcery by going online only and
I don't know. I think maybe the Atom has this.
Mint Mobile can pass those savings on to you.
That's
All plans
interesting.
come with unlimited talk
'Cause
and text plus high-speed
they
data
didn't
delivered on
really
the
give
nation's
Ant-Man
largest 5G network.
anything. Like, they said he can shrink and grow, and they gave him the ability to not be changed.
To get your new wireless plan
Like
for just
the Atom.
$15 a month,
So-
and get the plan shipped to your door for free.
I don't know, I guess the Atom wins
Mint.com/Death
this.
Battle.
That's
Makes sense,
mintmobile.com/deathbattle.
but I don't know. That underspace and
All right,
microverse
commanders are set.
thing,
We've run the data through all
that's what's getting
possibilities.
me.
It's time for a death battle!
Oh, I've missed Death Battle, though. I like that they're both just scientists starting out doing whatever.
You should pick on someone your own size,
Ah,
relatively speaking.
How did you do this? It's laced with a particle I've never seen before.
They're called Pym particles, and I'm Hank Pym, Scientist Supreme. You should have knocked.
I feel like you guys could have talked a bit more, than exchanged some science words. Oh, this battle's gonna be silly. Oh, that just looked weird.
You're using pieces of a white dwarf star? That's cute.
Everything we needed already existed. You just needed to be smart enough to put the pieces together. Scientist Supreme?
I like that. I like more of that, please. Just like the high stakes drama, but
At any
it's
given moment, there are about
small in real life.
5 million ants under your feet.
I mean, that makes sense, but why are you bringing that up right now?
He does have the army Vance. Oh, but he's got a sword, so like, you know. He had a sword.
Took you long enough. Okay, let's try this.
Oh, that's nice. It turned from a sprite into a 3D model. That's cute. I like that.
I'll hack his belt. You lay low and let me know what you find.
That's stupid.
Nice try.
So are we in Underspace or Microverse right now?
If I search every electron path in his gun and study their probability wave functions, I just might be able to.
Oh, I like that. I like them being smart. Okay, so we're in the Microverse now. Gotcha. I guess that was the nuclear blast. Sure didn't feel like it.
What's happening? He must be reaching his limit. If we don't get out of here quick, he's gonna destroy all of reality. Now, my pets!
My pets.
You have your
Oh.
tricks and your tools, but I created something beyond the limits of human existence. I operate on a scale you can't even comprehend.
Makes sense. Now we're in Overspace. Okay. Sure. Hey, Eternity.
You can't be afraid to think big.
Oh, gosh. Oh, I don't like seeing that. No, thank you. Oh, I dislike that death immediately.
Ant-Man and Adam both
Immensely.
had many answers to each other's abilities and
Ugh.
arsenals. Both were able
No,
to
thank
throw
you.
various weapons
Oh,
at
I miss them
targets.
being color-coded.
Both were trained in judo, and they both could obviously keep up with each other's ability to shrink at will.
Though there was one small thing Adam couldn't answer to.
Yeah, so I was right.
The
Ant Army.
Hank's bond
Yeah, makes sense.
lent him some small advantages, and Ray just didn't have enough anti-ant tools.
See, I should have
But
Should've
in Adam's
just kept that in
defense,
mind.
the fact that he could punch with a fist packed with
So
all
my
of
first
his
guess was
mass
right in the
made him
initial,
close to fight,
beginning of the
while
episode.
small
Yay.
leave Hank with few options since he can only punch with his normal human strength.
Even still, all Ant-Man would need to do is keep his dissed ants with the help
Boo.
of his insect confidence and
Boo.
devise another plan of ant tech. Something Hank has no shortage of.
For instance,
Those
Ant-Man
puns.
could alter Adam's size thanks to the Pym particle field he generates. Hank would just need to stall long enough to remove or disable Adam's biobelt, and he's had no trouble hacking enemy tech in the past.
But even
Makes
with
sense.
the bio belt busted, it wouldn't stop Adam's ability to shrink, since the white dwarf power is contained throughout his suit. Destroying the belt only meant that Ant-Man could alter Adam's size.
Whereas Hank has literally rewritten his own biology to prevent outside size alteration. And while Adam's abilities are definitely impressive, they are limited. And
Makes
Ant-Man
sense.
simply aren't, at least by comparison. Hank could always match Ray's size or just take the fight to the overspace where he would have the edge, both physically and mentally.
The overspace can mess with the human mind, but we've seen that Hank can handle it.
But if the Scientist Supreme is really so smart, why didn't he just immediately go up Adam's butt and blow him up from the inside?
What's wrong with you, Wiz? Aren't you a fellow?
I was
man
wondering
of
if they bring that
science?
up.
This is the meanest thing you've ever done to me.
Oh, poor
Adam
Wiz.
sized
Oh,
up
I hate that
Ant-Man,
death.
But in the end, he was the one who had to say, Uncle.
The winner is Ant-Man.
Yep, had a feeling.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We have a new death battle releasing every 2 weeks this year.
Every 2
Click the join
weeks.
button to get new perks and extra
So no,
content.
mid-season
Channel
break?
members even
Who's
do death
next?
battles before anyone else, so don't miss out.
Next time on Death Battle. Oh, okay. Praise the sun, it's Dark Souls versus Skyrim. That was a fun battle. And like I said before, it's been a while since I've recorded something, so I'm a little, like, rusty. But, yeah, I had a feeling Ant-Man would win. Even, I think they gave all those stats to the Atom to make it seem like he had more of a chance, but, you know, it's ants. That's how you, that's the best way to describe this battle. Ants. I hate that death. Burning Passion, though. Not good at all. Definitely not my favorite. Dislike it immensely. But that was a good battle. Let's not have any more Marvel vs. DC matchups this season. please, 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 no Marvel DC. We're done with them for a while. That's it. So I wonder if they're gonna have, I wonder if they're gonna have a mid-season break, because they said all year. So every 2 weeks, let me be my own little scientist for a second. So every 2 weeks, that'll be June 5th. Oh no, that's 15 battles. And this was the 16th battle then, so yeah, no, that's, no mid-season break, I think then. Interesting, 16 episodes this season. Unless 16 episodes is the mid-season break, and then this season's gonna have 32 episodes. That could be plausible too. And speaking of episodes, the Chosen Undead versus the Dragonborn. Dark Souls versus Skyrim. That's an interesting battle, because it's just, this is gonna be an RPG battle. Player created. So I wonder if they're just gonna go, what loadouts are they gonna pick for this? That's gonna be interesting to see what equipment, spells, armor, items, how many jokes they're gonna make. I wonder if they're gonna reference Aaron Lee. That'd be a reference, wouldn't it? No idea who wins that one. I've played Skyrim, but I know the legacy of Dark Souls, so... I don't know, I think... based off of no knowledge, no research, just throwing out a random guess because it's time for the episode, next time, I'm going to assume the Chosen Undead ones. I know that Dark Souls is hard and you get killed by everything, but I feel like the accomplishments of a Dark Souls protagonist and abilities of a Dark Souls protagonist outweigh that of a Skyrim protagonist. And also, I don't know if it's going to be stricken to just Dark Souls, or because I don't know. I don't think you play as the same character in multiple Dark Souls games. You could, I don't know though. So I don't know if it's just Dark Souls 1 or if it's Dark Souls the series against Skyrim, and only Skyrim, because Skyrim is its own game in the Elder Scrolls series. I do know one advantage that Chosen Undead has, and that's dodge roll. Dodge roll, the best ability in any video game. They have it. Skyrim doesn't really have evasive abilities. They have shields and defensive abilities, but they don't really have evasion. I don't think. Yeah, see, Dark Souls is more action-y, whereas Skyrim is more... I don't want to say tactical. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's stealth-based either. But, I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say, like I know what I'm trying to think of, but I can't put it into words right now. Probably the headache. But, I don't know, I think Dark Souls wins this one. Dark Souls is my guess. Now, the only question is, what symbol is the Dark Souls battle on the Death Battle Cipher Wheel? That's the only mystery remaining. But, yeah, this was a good episode, and that's going to be a good episode, I feel. It's great to have Death Battle back. Did not like that death with the ants, though. That was... ugh, no thank you. So, with all that being said, I've been your most wonderful host, GangstaLuigi613. I have been GL6, and I shall see you all in the next show. Peace out. Bang.